The real reason why you should give up on westernized women forever, and I do mean you, and I do mean forever, is because something catastrophic has happened, and you as a man, you can't fix it. You cannot fix it. I cannot fix it. Men have preferences for women. They want fertile, they want feminine, they want agreeable, and they want a woman who will be their woman. And if you look at the science of mating, is that the more men that a woman's with, the less likely she will stay with one man. It is a statistical fact. Women don't know this, okay? This is the problem. Women are born, as we are, with no knowledge. Nothing. We don't know anything. That's why we need a mother and father and good education. Anyway, so we go through the world. One of the really difficult things that women have in their lives, and I think men really need to appreciate women's situation in order to understand it. Because understanding is what this channel is about. It will allow you to have the foundation to make a good life. The structure. Okay, when you build a house, the Bible had a great quote, build your house on not on the sand, but on the rock. Okay, that is exactly how it is. Understanding is the rock. When you understand, you can make very difficult changes in your life, very difficult. But until you understand and accept what's going on, it's hopeless. There is another type of problem that men have, and that is the indecisive man. But we can talk about that in another episode. And that is a real thing. There's a percentage of men who they know what's going on, but they just cannot act. Okay, that's a totally different problem and different reasons and different solutions. And there is a solution. Okay, so for anybody with that problem, if you look in your life, there is a solution, a real solution. Okay, so men want young, fertile, feminine, agreeable women to partner with. Okay, this is to partner with. Okay, I think it's so simple. I don't see how people cannot understand this. But when you're just having sex and having fun, it is a different thing than when you get married or when you make a real bond with somebody. Okay, I'm talking about the mistake that women are making is so permanent and irreversible, and it's on the most important level. And this is why the women that you talk to cannot accept what you're saying if you understand the true dynamics and what they gave up and with their real situation. And at the end of it, you might understand why they don't give up. You know, they're just hoping out for that 1% chance that there's something unusual will happen. And it could happen. But this is why women, even when they hear the truth, they cannot accept it. Why? It's so simple. So fucking simple. Okay, so I have a friend, very good friend. He passed away recently. Very tragic guy. Very, very tragic man. I mean, really, truly tragic, this guy. Fucking great guy. Ed. And Ed, I met him in Shanghai. And he's not Chinese Ed, that's another guy. This is Ed from New York. And I met Ed and I immediately liked him. He was one of these guys. I don't know, man. If you're a man, you know what I'm talking about. There's like just certain guys. You're just like, fuck, that guy's awesome. I just want to spend a little time with that guy as much as I can once a week or whatever. He was busy, right? And I didn't know why. I didn't understand why when I first met him. But I just thought, okay, this guy, he's a good guy. Because I got to China, I didn't really have many friends, and I was looking for somebody. And I met Ed. I was like, okay, this guy's fucking good. As I knew more, I realized he had some flaws. And one of them was a fatal flaw. His fatal flaw was that he couldn't stop drinking. He just could not stop drinking. He would drink, and then he would stop drinking, and the guy drank too much. So, long story short, what I found out later, actually I found out as he was dying, I found out a lot about his life. But he had been president of a company that sells abrasives in New York. I don't know if the company was in New York, but it was in America. And he was just very successful. And he was just one of these guys, very talented, and he was successful, good sense of humor. He was healthy. He was athletic. He just had a good fucking face. He was a good friend. Very likable guy. He's the kind of guy that you would forgive for too many things. That's the kind of guy he was, right? Just like, you shouldn't forgive him for this, but you just do. Because you're, fuck it. It's Ed, right? Fuck it. So anyway, Ed was married when I met him. And he had 2 kids, both beautiful kids. His wife was good to him. I don't know the details about, day to day. We didn't talk about that. But I knew that, she had been she was a tough woman, and she took care of the kids, and she supported him. And what happened was he had quit his job as president to go to China because he wanted to go there. I forgot the reason. But anyway, a lot of people like me really wanted to go. We were like, we're fucking explorers, right? We wanted to go at any cost. And so they wouldn't let him. So he said, okay, well, I'm out of here. And he left the president's job to do nothing in China for like a few years. He had money. It was fine. But still, it's not good on your resume as a president. Trust me, as a headhunter. But anyway, he did it. So he went to China. And, he did well as far as friendships. And he started teaching English. And his wife kind of helped him get a good teaching job. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, eventually he was back in New York. And he went to see his old buddies. And the president of the company said, Ed, we need you. We need you back. And he's like, I'm in China. I'm not coming back. And the guy said, hey, that's exactly why I'm talking to you, is because we need you in China. So they said, this is the luckiest guy. He's the luckiest guy, too. In the end, it turned out absolutely tragic. But this guy had luck. He was a cat with 9 lives. But, he's kind of the lesson that don't go to 10, right? Don't go to 10. So anyway, the president said, hey, look, we need you back. We'll give you your full salary. We want you to be president of China. So after a trip, okay, he comes back and he's the president of a fucking industrial company. They move into a beautiful house. He's got a driver. His wife is all of a sudden wearing nice clothes. She had stuck with him. She had encouraged him. She did everything a woman should do, really. Yeah. And it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat to watch. But Ed, he could not handle it. I don't know if he had fear of success. I don't know what the fuck. But anyway, after about, I don't know how many years, maybe 7 years in that position, he started drinking again and taking pills. And he just became a mess. But he was so good at his job, they didn't fire him. Even though the guy was a fucking mess. Like, I know he was going to work drunk. I know he was. But as a president of an industrial company, it's basically all-man company, right? What does all-man company think about? What do they care about? Just guess. If you haven't worked what would be your guess? They want results, okay? They want numbers. And Ed could deliver numbers. The reason was because in China, there was a lot of drinking and there was a lot of dinners. And if you passed out and turned the table over and you tore your shirt off and did something crazy in China, that was funny. That was fine. Back then, it was totally fine. If you were a powerful guy and you let loose, everything was forgiven. Everything, And it was really fun for drinkers. They really had a great time. Because there's a lot of guys who do bad things or, fucked up things who really are fucking good guys and deserve way more chances. But modern society has taken that away from men totally. That this is a good man or a good boy. It's like, no, we must punish him because of this specific fact. And it's a total lack of understanding of male species. Many good men, I don't know the numbers, but I'd say most, that have done great things. Great men. The great men in the world. Think of who are the great men. I don't know. MacArthur. Mike Tyson. like Ronaldo. You know, think about the guys that really, really fucking did shit. A lot of them, if you really went back in their past, they did shit that would have ruined them today. Stole cars, maybe stabbed a guy, maybe fought, and the guy went into a coma. That shit happens. Men compete. They do. Fucking shit happens. And that's how you learn as a man. You learn the hard way. Man's life is not easy. It is not fucking easy. Because the reason why man's life is not easy, okay, and the women do not understand this, but if you're listening, you're a woman, you need to hear this. It's not because he was unable to avoid doing that big mistake. It's because the road of a man is so unknown and requires action before proof constantly. It's a guy's life. And I think this is why guys like movies like this, is a movie where the guy has to break into a whatever, and he has to defuse a very complex bomb situation. Okay, like not one wire, but like he has to click. He has to do like 100 things right. And each one could destroy the whole thing. The reason why those movies are made is because that is a man's life. And he is going to cut the wrong wire sometimes. And it's not even entirely his fault, because his road, okay, a man's road is to cut the wire, to really be a great man. I'm not talking about to work at Starbucks, to be a great fucking man. And you guys, if you really think about it, you know this is true. Whether you've done this or not, you fucking know this is true for men. A great man, he has to go in not knowing, and he has to make decisions. And some of those decisions are going to be fucked up, lead to fucked up consequences. But the reason why certain men get second chances is because we realize the reality of man, which I'm not going to go into right now. But we know instinctively, forgive that guy. We watch him close, okay? I'm not saying we don't fucking watch the guy. I'm not saying it's blanket. It's case by case. But we watch. And wise men know. They're like, for some fucked up reason, we got to give this kid another fucking chance. Okay? There's something in greatness that leads to madness. You know what I mean? Basically, I can't think of the words. I don't have the words. I think I've said too much on that. You either understand life or you don't sometimes. Okay. So, men have a difficult road. And we are not... What are we not good at? Okay, let me explain based on a comment in a recent video. I don't remember which video it was. Maybe you can find it. There's a guy. He left a long comment. And the comment was, if you boil it down, and I want to hear from the guy. Maybe I misread it. Even if I misread this guy's comment, it doesn't matter. Because I get this comment all the time. The idea is what I'm talking about. Not attacking a certain comment. The idea is this, is that I can't give up on society, okay? I can't do it. Society will go to ruin. And I tell you, I understand this desire, okay? Your desire is to be a great man, like the greatest of great men. That's what's behind that, is that you want to be like a Jesus character. That is really, truly what you're trying to do. You're trying to tell the world, on a world level, the way it should be. If you're not a world figure, you're not a world figure. You're never going to get that role. Look at yourself. Honestly. There's nothing wrong with the truth, okay? Are you going to be a world leader that will change the course of humanity? What proof do you have? And I am not discouraging anybody here. This is the truth. This podcast is about the truth. And you know the fucking truth. If you're not that guy, okay, and the odds are very low. The odds are very low, and it's a very dangerous job. But you're trying to buy... It's the same thing I used to do when I lifted weights. When I was young. I'd put on too much weight, okay? And I see a lot of guys doing this. I didn't do a lot of this, but I did it a few times. I see guys doing this every time they go to the gym. They put on too much weight and they get 2 spotters around them. And there's a lot of yelling and spitting and screaming and grunting, okay? So, which is basically fake masculinity going on. Why is it fake? It's fake because the guy is putting the weight on as a way to get out of working, okay? When you put on weight with no spotters, okay, I don't use spotters. When you put on weight with no spotters, you get humbled pretty quickly. Or when you're doing the bench, or you're going to die because it'll hit your throat and kill you. Okay? So you have to be real when you're doing with no spotters. And even more than that, I believe to lift, say you lifted something, it's not 1 rep. It's 6 reps. 6 reps minimum. So the reason why guys put more weight on, the reason why guys take the global approach to solution solving is because they know they can't do it. And they want to show the world they're trying. They want to show themselves. But I appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. And I, everybody is wrong. Sometimes it's for sure. I'm telling you right now, look at yourself again, okay? The guy who wrote that comment. You're not that guy. And you never were that guy. You're not leading hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions, billions of men. But you're trying to pretend like you are. Stop it. Do not do that. Do not do that. Take the weight off. Do the weight you can do and push it to the goddamn max. And make it hurt. And don't have anybody helping you. And if you fucking die, that's the way it is. And that's a man. I recommend being smarter than that because these type of things are final. And, you have a right to make mistakes. I think I got empathy, But you got to take half the reins. You got to listen. You got to change. You cannot keep doing the same shit just because nobody around you has the balls to tell you or understands. I'm telling you right now, stop this global thing if you're not a global leader. So what can you do? What can you do as a man? Literally. If you can't lead America, you're not leading America. And I would argue that the positions that are available today, even if you become president, I don't think you can lead America. I think there's so many soups in the kitchen. You know that saying, there's too many soups in the kitchen, it spoils the broth, right? It's because a good chef, one chef, he knows what he wants to put in the broth. He puts it in the broth comes out great. You take a committee of guys putting shit in broth without talking to each other and just overruling each other based on hierarchy, based on age, based on some other bullshit, you're going to get a bad soup. It might be a healthy soup. So, I'm just saying a taste, So what can you do? I say it again, you cannot change society. You can't do it. Look at yourself. Can you? Like really? It's not just me. Look at yourself. Look around you. Are there millions of men surrounding you right now, cheering you on? Are you the leader that people are listening to? And there's nothing wrong with not being that. That's not even the goal. I'm just saying stop the bullshit with yourself. At the same time, I appreciate your trying, okay? Don't get me wrong. You're trying to be a Jesus figure. And that's great, okay? I think we try things, right? We try, like someone said to me when I was younger, they said, try on a jacket. Just try it on for size. And I was trying like an idea on. And he said, wear like a loose jacket. Just see if it fits, It was a new idea, totally different than clothes. And I was like, oh, you can just try an idea on like a jacket, see if it fits. Okay, so does it fit? It doesn't. Okay, next. What can you do? You can't change society. Okay, now the problem with women, back to women, is the reason why they can't accept reality, okay, modern women, is because okay, it's because of the nature of reality for them, okay? They're born, like I said, knowing nothing, except for having instincts and being a beautiful, complex mammal, which is a beautiful thing, with great possibilities. We all are. But those possibilities need to be developed, okay? So in the development stage is when a successful woman in reproduction, in life, she will allow in the teachers. You have to allow the teacher in. That's why it's important to find the right teacher. See, that's why there's so many YouTube channels, is because different people resonate with different people. And it's the way they present and their background. And many other factors that allow you to listen to them, okay? It allows you to take it in, you know? I mean, I like science classes and stuff, but it wasn't until I started listening to Richard Feynman that I just got absolutely fascinated with sciences, because he presented it in a way that I could accept and I could understand. And it just, and science itself is so exciting and interesting. It's the most exciting story there is around. Better than any Hollywood movie. But I needed that guy to open it. And there was a certain guy who brought me to AA, Don Gard, my professor in college. He's passed away long ago. And he was an awesome guy. I traveled the world. He was funny. He was fucking great. Sometimes he'd say, Don God. He was just a great fucking guy. And he was the only guy that I could listen to that could change my life when I was in college. And he took me to AA out of his class. And that changed my life because of that man. Everybody's like, oh, it's a program. No, it's a man. It was that man who I could accept. It was a combination of me and him. Okay, so it was the bond that we had, us two. I allowed him in. And he had the wisdom to guide me. Very fucking important to find that leader who can guide you. It's the only way through the jungle when you're learning. It's the only way. So, where was I going with that? Fuck, I have so many ideas on my mind today. It's a fucking great day. So women, just in a nutshell, you already know, but I just need to say it for guys that are new or whatever, is that men want young women, okay, basically. Young, virginal type of women to be their wives. Okay, the virginal type, because men are not very particular. We're not like super judgmental. But there's a limit, okay? And the modern women of today have been told, okay, that it is empowering to do everything that is the opposite of what men want in a partner, okay? And I won't go into those. There's a lot of podcasts about that. But I guess you could look at it like a woman had like a diamond, right? And she was on a ship. And in a moment of emotion, she threw that diamond into the ocean. And we're in the Guyana, what is it? What's that trench? Juliana Trench? Guyana? There's the deepest part of the ocean. And the boat was over there. And that diamond was lost forever. And now the woman's on the ship. Because a man wants a woman's past. Okay? A woman wants a man's future. A man wants a woman's past. And she threw that diamond in the ocean. So the thing is, as a man, it's not that women don't listen. It's not that you watch a podcast, you watch like Fresh and Fit or whatever, and just Pearly Things. They'll have women on there. And the women will fight like hyenas not to accept the truth about what men want in a partner. Why do they do that? Why? Think about it. Why do they do that? The reason why they do that, I believe, is because they already threw the diamond away. The diamond is gone now, and nobody can retrieve it. There's no way to retrieve it. A fish could have eaten it on the way down thinking it was a piece of food. The diamond is gone. Make it worse. At night, in a huge storm with 150-foot waves. And there are 150-foot waves. There are outliers in the ocean. Crazy, crazy storms. I'm sure in the deepest part of the ocean, there's some badass storms, okay? In the worst storm, she threw that diamond. And it cannot be retrieved. No power on earth will ever bring that diamond back. And she knows it. So a woman has only two choices. I've said this before, but I think it's important. She's already thrown the diamond away. So the only thing she can do is lie and say, oh, I do still have the diamond. The problem with that is that what is a relationship? What is the most important thing in a relationship is trust. It's the one person you can trust. And a woman who's thrown that diamond, she's done the things that she knows a man would not accept in a wife, in a partner, in a bonded life partner. She knows she's thrown the diamond. And so she can lie. And it's a terrible thing to do. And she knows it. She knows at the deepest level, this is what man really needs and what he wants. And an empathetic woman, it cannot do it. So what can she do? There's not much she can do, because the type of men who will accept her real background, and she can throw that diamond away very quickly. That diamond is usually gone in 1 year of freshman in college, in my experience. I'm talking very sweet girls, very innocent girls from India, from wherever. They go to the U.S. The first year, the diamond is gone. And it cannot be retrieved. And women cannot accept that. It's so difficult because they only have one diamond as far as a partner. There's no other diamonds. There's nothing else. That's the worst thing, is there's only one. And it's irretrievable. And she did it. She threw it away. So whoever talked to her, brainwashed her, did not teach her about life, protect her, none of that matters. It doesn't matter in life, for her or for you. If you're on the railroad tracks and the train comes at full speed, it doesn't matter why you're there, who put you there, what the reason was, whose mistake it was. You're going to die and pass into whatever death offers. And that will be it. And it's the same with all irreversible things. So women either can deceive the only person who they trust and are trying to bond with. They can either have a bad bond, an unreal bond. They won't even want to do it because they've already destroyed their own inner ability to have it. Plus, they've destroyed both sides, their inner ability to have that bond, because now they no longer can be as infatuated, as in love as they would have been if they had saved themselves for that man. They can't do it from their side. And the man is disgusted by it. The man that they want to support them and protect them, if he knows the truth that they threw that diamond and lied to him and deceived him on the most important thing in his life, he will not forgive her. A real man will never forgive that. There is no forgiving of that. So she's in an impossible situation. The only thing that a woman like that can do, and I'm talking to most Westernized women, is to grieve, is to go into deep, grieving therapy, and to really face the future they threw away. They will never come back, okay? They threw it away. I'm not kidding. Therapy ain't going to fix this. It's gone. It's over. It's either a fake bond that they know is fake, sadness and loneliness, regret, forever. What else is there? That's it. There's a lot of things in life, but on that most important diamond, there is nothing else. And that is so difficult to accept for a young woman. And it happens. The other thing as men, we need to have empathy for women, because remember how young you were when you were like 20. If you're older now, like, man, you were young. Fuck. You had no idea about so many things, right? A woman, that's when she's got to know everything about it. She's got to be, not only know, she's got to be disciplined, and she cannot make mistakes. This is her diamond. This is her future. This is the one chance at bonding and building a family, which is a deep desire of hers. And so we have a lot of sad women out there who will basically go through torture on this one. And as a man, can you just from a man's point of view, can you find the diamond? Can you bring her innocence back sexually? You can't. Her innocence with relationships, her bonding ability, okay? People talk about the hymen and men are this and that. No, it's not about the hymen. It's about her innocence. And that can never come back. It is very important that each person explores and sees life themselves. That's why you don't want to tell people too much. That's why I hold things back. Is because I know you as a man need to go through certain things. I'm here when you've gone through it, but some things I don't tell you. And there's a reason, because I know you have to go through it yourself. You must not know. You must. You must be surprised. You must be challenged. Otherwise, you can't be weeded out. The truth will never be found. Like you have the answers before the test. As a man, that will absolutely stunt your growth and ruin your life. You must not know some things and be challenged in the moment. And have to go, like that movie where you're cutting the wires of the bomb without knowing. Someone cannot tell you the wires of this one for manhood. You need to go and risk blowing up every fucking second. Prepare yourself before that moment with the most information you can, with your body, with the least amount of garbage in there, with the most amount of flexibility and strength and intelligence and energy, mitochondrial health, cellular health, basically, down to the cells. The cells are so important. You got to keep your cells healthy. That's the most important thing in health is the cells. We'll talk about that in a future episode. You want to fix your health? You got to think about the cells. When you understand the cells, and I'm not talking about doctor understand. You can do it. It's not. There are some simple rules. But if you understand the cells, what you need to do, it will make it a lot easier for you to make decisions about your health. The reality that builds your body. So, men, can you change any of this? No. You must let it go. Women are throwing away their most valuable thing right in front of you. I think that there is a sadness for a loving man when they watch this happen. Women throwing their future away. It's very, very sad. It's the same as when a man throws away his future and goes life imprisonment, you know. I have a friend who threw away his life. He threw a bottle. He was a quarterback. Very good quarterback. Scouted by the pros. Going to the top. Very talented. Very funny. Good looking. Fucking awesome guy. I mean, as far as a man goes, this guy, we were not the best of friends. We were friends. But we were like competitive friends. Okay? I was 19. He was 19. But I respected him. I definitely respected him. But one night at a party, some guy did something to him, said something to him, and he took a beer bottle. And he was a quarterback, and he was a goddamn good one. And the guy was way on the other side of a parking lot. And I'm talking American parking lots are fucking huge. And he told his friends, I'm going to throw the bottle at the guy. And he did. He went into his football stance, held the bottle like a football, and fucking winged that thing perfectly. A perfect shot. It hit him right in the back of the head, caused brain damage, almost killed the guy. And the guy's family sued my friend. And the lawsuit was brutal. You know what the judgment was? The judgment was 35% of every dollar you make, your entire life goes to him. 35%. And he was 19. And he was a very good salesman. He worked with me in the stereo store. And after that judgment, he was destroyed. I don't want to get into the details of this guy's life because it is very sad, actually. But he was destroyed. It destroyed something in him. Oh, Ed. Yeah, what did Ed do? Oh, yeah. So Ed, oh, God, I forgot to say the end of Ed. So Ed was drinking, drunk all the time, and he drove his car with his boy in the car and had a terrible accident in China. And he lost both his legs in the accident. His boy, luckily, was fine. And after that, Ed was a ruined man. His wife had finally had enough. And the reason was, and she had a very good reason, is because he had the boy in the car. I think she probably would have stayed with him with no legs, actually. He was going to be deported from China, of course, because you can't drink and drive. And it was a terrible thing. I don't remember what happened to the other car, but they might have died. It was a very bad accident. And it was his fault. He lost his legs. He lost his family. He lost his business, his position. He lost his country, China, because that was his country where all his family, everything was. Back to New York. He had nothing. And by total chance, a guy that I know, very good friend of mine, ran into him in a meeting and he was destroyed. And he died soon after. I don't even want to go into the details. But guys, life is irreversible, man. It is irreversible. You need to accept reality. You need to accept reality. Make wise decisions. Westernized women have unfortunately been infected with a mind virus that has caused them to do something that you cannot fix. And there is no point in even offering empathy. Because honestly, it's such a deep loss for women to lose the ability to bond, to lose the ability to have a family forever for a young woman who really wants a family. So much of her wants it, but she threw it away. It's the kind of grieving that only women can help her with, and they're not doing that. So what happens? You tell me, what happens when a man is broken? What happened to Ed? He kept drinking, and he was bitter, and he was a fucking mess, and he was not the same man that he was. He was a recluse, and he was it was a terrible situation. And that's what's happening to women today. Can you fix that? As a man, your role, okay? Can you do that? You cannot do that. So no convoluted strategy that you can follow to improve yourself as a man is going to fix what is broken in her bonding ability. It's gone, and you can't fix it. So what can you do? As a man, what should you do? What do most men do? Most men, they tell women about this. So you watch Fresh and Fit. All those women, it's too late for them. Okay? the ones that come on the show. That's why they're on the show. They know they made a mistake, a lot of those women. That's why they go on the show. And they're frustrated and confused about how to deal with it. Grieving is the only way. When you lose the most important thing in your life, like when I lost my daughter, there's nothing you can do but grieve. You have to learn to grieve, okay? I'm not saying there's nothing you can do. Grieving is a real thing. You need to do it. You need to grieve the loss of a very important part of your life that is not coming back. There's a lot of other parts of life, but that part is not coming back, and you threw it away. And you need to grieve that, because that is a very sad thing. Life is very unforgiving. Life and death for men and women. It's very brutal. It's very brutal. But you're better off accepting it. Life is good in the end, but it's a fucking war, okay? And you have to accept your losses and the truth about your life if you really want to have a great life. When I see more women accepting the reality of their lives, I will have more hope for them, because I know there is a path they can take to have a great life, and maybe even to learn from it and have a great life. But not to get back to diamond. There's no hope for that. Just like there's no hope for Ed to come back to life. That's not going to happen. So what can you do, guys? Your back's against the wall. You're like, wait, I can't be Jesus. I can't be fixing women that have thrown it away. I can't. So teaching doesn't help. Educating them after they've done it. And younger women, it's not your role. Her father's role. Her uncle's role. It's not your role. It's just like, if you ever had friends or family with kids and you got confused that they were your kids because they loved you so much. I had that. I was Uncle Paul, and I got confused because they loved me so much, my nieces, that I was just like, man, I started to think I had fatherly roles with them, but I did not. And I had to learn that the hard way, that I'm Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul is a great role, but it's not Father Paul with them, right? So what's your role? What can you do as a man? I mean, one thing you can do what the women are doing, which is grieve. Grieve the terrible loss of all those women that you knew that were good. It could have been great women, had great relationships. And it's not going to happen. So what can you do? I would argue you have to, okay? Go where women have not been ruined. In societies where they were supported and not brainwashed. And I'm not telling you what to do there. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying go there and get a wife. I'm not saying go there and do anything. Okay? I'm just saying simply, that's what people read into so much stuff. He's saying this, I'm saying go there. I think it's important as a man to see women that have not thrown that away. Just see them. Go to places where women have not thrown that diamond away. And again, it's not as clear as the hymen. It's not that clear. Okay, it's close, but it's not. It's not that clear. So there's a deeper. Go somewhere where there's women who still have that. And why? Because just being around them is lovely. Even if you do nothing, you just bask in being around femininity. It is a neat thing for guys. We don't have it. Contrary to popular belief, it's not part of us, femininity. But when you're around it, it is a beautiful fucking thing. It is so beautiful. And I don't care how artistic you are. You're not feminine. It's a different thing. Women, being around femininity. I'm not talking about females. I'm not talking about vaginas here. Femininity. That's a very advanced thing. There's a lot of, yeah. But being around, it's like being around, I've often said, I want to die in a hotel room, a hospital bed, or any kind of bed, where I can be near a school and I can hear girls playing and laughing. Because to me, that's the ultimate song. The birds are great. I like the birds. Love the birds. But girls playing and laughing, to me, that's always been the best sound in the world. That's the way to go out. That's the end of the podcast. And it's going to add on another topic. Summit's coming up. It's over Christmas. Why Christmas? Because a lot of you guys, you know, society's bullshit. You've done it a million times the same way. Fuck, try a new way. God, it's fun. We're going to have a great Christmas. There's a big goddamn tree in San Francisco. It's a great place. I used to go there for San Francisco when I was a kid with my family. It's a great place for Christmas. We're going to have a great fucking time with a bunch of men. And the goal is to teach you, no matter how experienced you are as a world traveler, more. There's a book in Japan that has a great title. Any Japanese guys on it? You guys know do you know what book I'm talking about? Chikyū no Orikikata. Okay. Great book. Great name. Chikyū is world. Aruku is walk. Arukikata is way to walk the world. It's like the Japanese Lonely Planet. And I've always thought the best way to see the world is to walk the world. And I love the name of that book. It's my favorite. I just love the name of that book. Chikyū no Orikikata. Oh, God. That's what I'm going to teach you at this next summit. And don't want to brag here, but I am a professional at something I'm going to teach that I've never taught before. And it's directly related to where you live, what you do, the decisions you make, how you get there. I could say it, relocation. I'm a relocation specialist for many, many years. One of my companies in China, that was one of our things we did, was relocation. And I am actually an expert. And I've helped families all over the world go all over the world. I help Japanese guys set up factories in Japan and China. I helped them settle in China. I helped Americans settle in China, French people, German families, vice president of Siemens. I've helped so many people and families settle and make the right decision about how to settle in another country. So I've done it at the highest level, and you guys know me, sleeping on a fucking bamboo bed with no mattress in the Philippines. I've done it on the lowest level. So I've helped all different type of guys. So if you're a really wealthy expat and you're thinking about opening offices overseas, you will love this summit. And I have a depth of knowledge and experience I can share with you. And I have friends. My network is fucking incredible. And I'm going to have to call on that network. There's going to be guys we're going to have to call impromptu at the summit, because there'll be things that you're going to have to learn from somebody else's experience. And we're going to have to call in other people. But it's going to be an as-needed basis. So I can't really set them up because I don't really know your deepest needs, desires, who you are, what you want. But we're going to find that out at the summit. And then we'll be able to make the best decision so you can understand the world from your own being, where you belong, where you can go, what it takes to get there. Where you belong is the most important. We're going to work on that first. Everybody does the how because they don't know how to do the where you belong. I know how to do it. I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty good. And I'll do my best. I promise I'll do my best. Bring your hardest questions. Bring your toughest stuff. Okay? And I'm going to be honest. Okay? So if something can't be done, don't expect me to say something can be done that cannot be done. Okay? It's not what we're doing here. All right. Thank you very much for listening.